I think, I just think.
Yeah, for sure. All right, good morning, everybody. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. David, do you mind? Sure. Heavenly Father, we come to you today to just ask you to watch over this meeting and be with our commissioners to make the choices that are good for this county. I ask you to watch over all our county employees and all the people in this county as we start this new year. In Jesus' name, amen.
I reviewed the minutes, make a motion, and we approve them.
Move second, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, Gary, do you know if River City was going to do any updates today, or?
I don't know if they were planning on, I had thought they were going to be, I don't see it.
Okay. All right, there are the bills. There's actually two to sign. One is the one that was approved by, at the special meeting.
One of them, which one was already?
One was for 700 and some thousand.
Yeah, that
That's the one we
already
approved.
And the one for approval today is $400,794.74.
That's all.
Is that your motion?
It is.
I'll second it.
Move second, all in favor?
Aye.
This is good. All right, David, you got anything right off the bat?
I've got a whole bunch of resolutions, but we can get them whenever you
Okay.
get to
Terry,
it.
you got anything right off the bat? All right. Start the
Okay.
conversation, maybe. AMR, you ready? Yeah.
The payroll vouchers are sitting there to be signed.
Good morning. Happy New Year. As far as numbers for the month, just being day 4, we're actually at 4 transports. For the detailed report for the month of December, I'll have that for you next week, broken down by all the different data that I put in there. We had about 50% of our AMR workforce get vaccinated, get their first dose last week. The health department was a pleasure to work with and coordinate with on that. So all our employees that wanted it got it in the first round. So they'll be due to get their second dose in about 3 weeks. Nobody really had, it was mostly mild reactions like you get with the flu shot. So we didn't have any serious reaction. I had about 35 employees from the Kansas City operation also get it last week through the Wyandotte County Health Department. And same thing, no serious reactions, mostly just kind of what you get when you have the flu, sometimes just a sore shoulder, maybe a little bit of a headache. But so that was good to get through the first dose and kind of know what to expect. And we're sitting pretty good staffing wise. We had one part-time EMT from Linn County that we deployed to California for a FEMA deployment. And she came back over the weekend. She was gone for a couple weeks. So that's kind of what we've been up to. I'm expecting our fleet department to be working on, you may recall that we're I'm going to be replacing one of the ambulances with a 4-wheel drive SUV vehicle to be based out of Centerville, to have basically be more reliable with access issues and in the bad weather and ice and mud and lake communities and all that kind of, all those sorts of things. And so we'll probably be seeing that coming sometime this month, to where that SUV will show up and we'll be able to move over the radios and different things from the ambulance, and then that ambulance will be going to a different operation. I think that's kind of all we have going on. Any questions for me?
No.
All right, have a good week.
Have a good one. Kevin?
Morning, Commission. Kevin Friend, Linn County Sheriff. As far as our numbers go, we have 24 total prisoners, 17 in, 7 out, 6 in Anderson, 1 in Bourbon. This past week, we had 153 911 calls, so that was up quite a bit from the Christmas week before, where we only had like 89. Total calls for service this past week were 291. And vehicle crashes were up. We had 9 vehicle crashes this last week, which was kind of doubled from some of the times before. But with everybody traveling, a lot of people on the road, that's what we attribute that to. Wasn't any real big cases of interest this past week. We had kind of a stable holiday, so that was nice. That was nice to encounter. Any questions for me?
Everything going good over at your jail?
Yeah, it's going well. We're on the full side all the time, but without anywhere else to farm, that's just where we'll be, so.
Is it because you say nowhere else to farm? I know, Kevin, and you got the 6 places right now. Is it because they have arrests like Wilson? Some of those other counties are too far away.
Wilson is not taking any county prisoners anymore. They're handling all.
I just threw that out there. It's going into my mind.
They're handling all KDOC, which a lot of jails are right now, because your KDOC prisoners are stable. They're not coming in and out. They're not getting shipped in and out to court. So they have no fear of, a virus or something coming back into the jail. And there is just nowhere to farm right now. We've called everybody. Franklin County had some, but Franklin County's farming to Johnson now. And they've doubled their rates, so they're at $70 a day per prisoner. So it's not really obtainable for us to go there. I guess maybe for an extreme emergency. Bourbon County's not accepting any either. The only reason we have one there, it's a favor. And the individual who's housed in Bourbon has family members that work in Linn and Anderson, so we weren't able to farm to either of those places with that individual. And we kind of made a deal with the Bourbon County Sheriff that we'd help get him paid back when we have our new facility to hold a few of their prisoners or something. So
Sure.
That's where we're at, though.
Thank you.
How's your staff doing with COVID? I mean, are you doing okay?
We're 3 down right now that are positive COVID folks. But, we're getting along. We got along real well over the last week because we had our school resource officers out of the schools and on the streets working. So they were able to cover shifts for those 3 and their 3 deputies who are out. So we were able to cover those shifts with little issue. And we'll be getting those 3 back this week on, I believe, Wednesday and Thursday is when they'll be coming back.
Nothing else for me. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Ron?
Robin Spencer, Public Health Officer. Our total cases in Linn County so far is 535. That's up 61 since last Monday. 88 active, still at 4 deaths, 2 in the hospital and 4 clusters. We were able to give the 20 COVID-19 vaccines that we were given. The county only got 20. We did those last Wednesday and Thursday. And as AMR said, very little reactions. The arm was sore, some mild aches and pains. We did the county health workers that wanted it, all of our EMS personnel that wanted it. Then we offered it to local pharmacies, any of the pharmacies that weren't getting it through their own companies, and then the mortuary staff. So we don't know for sure when our next batch is going to come, but we're going to let you know electronically by the website. And we're also going to put out a survey so residents can let us know if they want it, so we can get kind of a total number of people that are going to want it. We had talked about doing like a drive-through to limit exposure of people, but you have to monitor people for 15 minutes at least afterwards, so we're kind of going to figure out how that's going to work. Health department, we're all moved in, except for some boxes. Looks really good. Jackie's crew did an awesome job. They worked really hard. Our feed machine is here. Our cartridges are here. Before we can do testing, we have to go through their training. It'll be online training that we hope to do this week. So by next week, we should be up and running. Those tests are free. We have 150 available now, and then we've got at least another 150 on order for as soon as we can get them. The results will be that day too. Questions?
I'm sorry, could you go over the count again for me?
Sure. We have 535 active, 535 total, 88 active. We're still at 4 deaths, 2 in the hospital, and our clusters stand at 4.
Thank you.
Yep. Anything else? Thanks.
I got one too.
Oh, you got one?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Doug Bartlett, Fire Chief Emergency Manager. I'm going to give David a check for $7,500. This is from Enbridge. That's on the CERT trailer grant that we received this year. They did send us our check last week. So that's taken care of. Linda's working on the bid specs currently, so we'll try to get it out to bid, get it going as soon as we can. Weather-wise, there's a chance of a light wintry mix Wednesday night into Thursday. They've not indicated anything about accumulation or issues that we will have, so I'll keep you up to date on that as we get more information towards the middle of the week. And then I need a 5-minute executive session for personnel, and I would like to ask Mr. Johnson to come in as well. That's all I have unless you have something for me this morning.
How's the fire department doing?
Good as far as I know. We've had a few structure fires and car wrecks and different things, so we've been keeping moderately busy.
I don't have anything else, Doug. Thank you.
How you doing?
Where are we at? Gary, you got anything right off the bat? You want to do executive session with Doug before we go into Jackie? Mike? Rick?
He's probably got some executive session personnel, I think, today too.
See you in here.
All right, get him. Get him, Doug. Thank you. Yeah.
Jackie Messer, Public Works Administrator. Last update on the health department, I hope it's up and working and most of our people are gone from there. We do have little odds and ends. They worked on the floor this weekend. I haven't seen it yet. Still working with several engineering firms, have been calling, asking for details on the on-call engineering and the bridge engineering information. So I've been giving out information on that as far as the bidding. We did have a winter storm response this last week. We had probably 10 people out in trucks plowing and putting ice down. I do have the much promised and never delivered inventory for you guys. This is our inventory that what the shop and everything have. This will be a yearly thing now that we've gotten it all entered and barcodes on everything. As we get stuff, we turn around and we put barcodes on everything that comes in. We've changed the way we do stuff as far as disposal. We have disposal procedures now. If we have a chainsaw, somebody backs over top it or drops it or it just dies from old age, it will have to be removed through a process from the inventory list.
How was it being done? Just,
How was that?
I mean, to dispose of it, how was it being done?
We have several options when I either bring it to a resolution. When I bring it to you guys, it'll either say, not suitable to be resold if it's unsafe or something, and then we'll destroy it, or it will go to Purple Wave. We'll dictate that when we do the.
What he's asking, how did it used to be?
Yeah, how did it used to be stowed in a corner? When it
I
was
think it was just informal, people just threw it.
Threw it away. They just threw it away. Well, that's no good anymore. I'm throwing it in the trash. So
There were no records.
there were no records of it. So the problem was, and I'm not blaming the people for the way they did it. It was just a different way of doing it. A steel chainsaw blows a motor. You go there, you take the recoil, you take this off, and you put it on another one, and you throw the parts under the shelf. We're not going to do it that way anymore. We're going to treat it as a unit. And if we are going to use it for parts, we'll document that we're using it for parts. Used to be a weed eater. If the head of this weeder would fix on that one, the parts would get thrown under. It's just a more formal, transparent system the way it is now. Barcodes are pretty handy. You can't get those suckers off. They leave a mark. So if something gets stolen, we have tracking record. Each foreman has a responsibility for a certain amount of it. And every year they're going to come back and say, this is missing, this has been transferred, this is still here. Everything will be checked every year and a report will be issued in January of every year to you guys that will show where the stuff is and what's happened to it. So pretty much I think, and then we're going to have the foreman will certify that I have seen and recognize that. I mean, they can't just say, here it is. They're responsible for it. They're responsible to say, I looked at it, checked it, and just to track it. So it's taken a long time to get to here because some of the departments, the road departments, were doing an inventory of sorts. They weren't getting in the weeds like the chainsaws and such.
Right.
But they were doing the equipment. But some of the other operations just never had it, like the buildings equipment never had an inventory. Solid waste quit doing it about 6-8 years ago. So they're all doing it again. The park never had one, so they're in that list. Solid waste is in that list. Everybody's doing it now. I do have an equipment operator advertised. That's the North Shop, Charles Bright position. And let's see. I'm going to try to be on leave most of the week if I can squeeze in the last vacation that I haven't used. And if I can get a executive session, 5 legal and 15 personnel. Oops. Yes. Did you guys review the solid waste plan and ready to sign off on it?
I am.
List of resolutions, I can put it in with them.
Okay.
Okay with it.
That was that one from last week with the copies of the solid waste plan. That's all.
How are the roads, everything like that? I know it's really wet out.
I think we did pretty good on this response. I know some people, we've had to modify the way we do it. In the past, the state goes out at midnight, starts salting, and the other counties might start at midnight. We kind of wait till the last minute to do it, and that is because the availability of salt. I don't want to go out there and put it out at midnight and find out it turns to rain and washes it all off and we've thrown away the salt. What we get in the middle of the summer is all we're going to get till next summer.
Right.
So we're trying to gauge it to go out right when it's needed. And that's pretty much what we did. We had 6, 8 trucks. I think we had 8 trucks out. I came up here and was driving the roads. I did a full circle. I think Parker 1077 was, and 1095 was the worst. But we pretty much waited. We never did get a sheriff's call, which we normally get, because I think it was because we got out there before. Nobody was out. Nobody was out and about. Normally the sheriff calls us, but between COVID and New Year's and the weather, we were able to get out there and get it, and I think worked out really well. We had about 8 people out in trucks.
What about tree limbs and stuff like that? Did we have a lot of down tree limbs and stuff like that?
We had 2 that I know of that we went out twice and cleared trees. We also cleared some with the snowplow on that first run through. 1095 had some. We had some areas that we weren't very happy with on 1095 because the trees came down really bad. And we're up there with boom mowers starting north going south and south going up, trying to clear back some of those trees. So next time it won't be such an issue, but it was pretty hard on the plows to try to get around that stuff. So we're working on that today.
All right. I don't have anything else, Jackie. Well, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session with Doug for 5 minutes personnel, and then Jackie follow in for 5 legal and 15 minutes personnel.
Yes.
That's my motion.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Guess I gotta give up.
This is what I need to do with all my equipment. I cannot get to Home Depot to figure out what we need for the work.
No, just, I've been asking about that, and asking about that. Hey, to me, I would have been spotting the line saying, oh, there's your parents. Instead of, oh, look here. You know how it works. You know how it works. Well, this is a big deal. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. So, anyway.
It took me forever to catch on. You don't give a chamber for $1,000.
Yeah. Well, you got Davis had resolutions.
Yeah, yeah.
You need Miss Thorough?
Yes. So we'll get sorted.
Well, I mean, ain't no big deal. It's thousands of dollars. I just thought it'd been taken care of, maybe.
I was supposed to have it, but she left.
Did she take care of that?
We'll see.
Not
It'll be between her and me to sort that out.
Well, yeah, but, it ain't thousands of dollars. No, we'll figure it out. I thought it'd been talked about.
Yeah, it has.
You want to come on up?
Sure. Is there another guy here?
Yeah, he'll be here. Just
Just to give you guys an update on what's going on. Holiday's been here. It's been kind of slow. Weather's hit a little bit, but before the holidays, we did get Crawl County in. We did get the fiber relocated. I did get an email. I know over behind the church, they left the alley in a kind of a little bit of a mess over there. Need some rock. We're in the process of getting a hold of Crawl Can, see if they will rock that. If they won't, we'll take care of it. We'll go ahead and take care of the rock on the alley. Effigy, everything's in place there. Talked to them. They were ready to go right at the end of the year, but all their employees had all saved their vacation time till right toward the end of the year in fear they might need it for COVID. So they had a whole bunch of people take vacation at the end of the year. And he said we were down to a skeleton crew. So we expect them here very shortly to move all the power poles to the south side of the alley, and that should take care of the major utility relocates. So, as you're aware, we did encounter some issues with the water and the sewer on the south side. We're working through that right now. I think we've pretty well got a plan in place and getting some pricing, getting pricing put together, but I think we'll have that resolved. As far as foundations, we'll just have to watch the weather here. It's awful muddy out there today. We are going to try and do some dewater and get some stuff, this alley drained down, a few things, but we'll see. We'll get, we're still struggling getting all the rebar here. I haven't talked to Marbury yet this morning to see where he's at on that, but prior to the holiday, he was still struggling with acquiring his rebar. So we'll work through it, but I don't have any major updates. It's been kind of slow through the holidays, but any questions or?
Did they actually place any concrete?
Yes, they did place some footings, on the west end there, right on the corner. I don't know, about 60, 80 feet of footing there. He's poured already. So,
Mulberry do that or?
yeah. Yep.
I seen in the paper where Victory's folks were working on footings. I thought that was.
That would have been Mulberry pouring and placing and excavating all that work. Now, they might have been down in there doing something in the picture or something, but it was all Mulberry doing that work. Yeah. But,
he's out of Fort Scott, right? That company?
Mulberry? Yeah. Yep. I think once we get going, he gets his rebar, I think he'll be able to produce pretty well. He's got several guys, like a lot of equipment, new equipment, so, or decent equipment. So I think shouldn't have any issues there. Just a matter of getting him going. So,
Just the mud and rebar's kind of holding them up. That's it.
yeah. Yeah. How much snow do y'all get here in this area? Quite a bit or just,
No. What?
Not usually.
Inch.
yeah?
Two?
Snow.
No, I mean, it's past snow. It seems pretty wet out there. It seemed like you got quite a bit of something.
Some rain.
Back 4 inch ice on there.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Thank you, guys. Yep.
You have more, Jackie? Okay.
We're ready for you out there.
I have one resolution here that actually came from Jackie's department, but it would be 2021-08. I've got the other 7 before that here in another stack. This is adopting the Lake Region Solid Waste Management Plan.
My motion to approve.
Are we gonna, can we approve them all individually, or do we need to, can we approve them all together?
I actually had the other 7 all in one motion here that I
Okay.
already.
I'll second. Move second, all in favor?
Aye.
That's the same thing that was sent to us in the email, right?
You had a hard copy of it too.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's pretty much same kind of boilerplate stuff. Year after year, as they update some recycling equipment, that's really about it.
Yeah, sign here and here.
I also had, one other thing besides these resolutions. We had an opening for Sheridan Township trustee, and Karen German has agreed to take that position. So we need a motion to appoint her.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Karen German, was it, what township?
Sheridan Township trustee.
The Sheridan Township trustee.
Second.
Move second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then the other list of resolutions that I emailed out to you, and I'll run through all of them here. Number 1 is scheduling the holidays for the year. And you'll notice on that one, New Year's Day next year is actually Saturday, so that Friday would be the holiday, so it comes out with one more holiday than normal on the list, and then the following year there'll be one less than normal. Number 2 is the gap waiver. Yeah. And that is just that we do our financials on a cash basis, which is not generally accepted accounting principles, so we have to do that waiver every year to approve that.
Did you say GAP or what? GAP?
GAAP, GAAP. The third one is the official depositories for county funds. And no change on that. Lists all the banks that we use. Checked with Janet and she didn't need to change anything. The fourth one would be the official newspaper for the year, which I've listed as Linn County News. The number 5 is the paydays for the year. So it goes through on one side, lists all the payroll dates and the date the vouchers are due. The other side lists the accounts payable dates and the vouchers are due for that one.
No extra pay period this year,
Yeah, that's 27 pay periods this year.
is it?
So that will,
Oh, this is the year we've
yeah,
been
this
working
is
on
the
for the
year with
budget.
extra one. So if any of you like me that are elected and are on straight salary, notice on the check that went out on the 1st, it's actually less money than it was last year. It's because our yearly amount's divided by 27 instead of by 26. So for the year, the 1% increase went on there, but it's gonna be less per check. The hourly people won't see that, getting paid for 80 hours every time, so they're actually gonna make more than normal this year. So it balances out a little bit on them. Number 6 is the resolution setting the pay scale for the year. And that's been adjusted with the 1% increase and the extension of the additional steps we approved last week, added on to it. And then number 7 is canceling warrants that are 2 years old. And that's just, once they've been on our books for 2 years, warrants being the checks that we sent out, not sheriff's warrants. Once they've been on our books for 2 years, if they haven't come through, we can go in and cancel them. So there's a list of those to be canceled. So that is resolutions 2021-01 through 07.
I'll make a motion, we approve those resolutions for the following year.
I'll second. Move second, all in favor?
Aye.
Just 1 through 7, you said?
Yes. Like I say, these are the normal, every year we have to do that set of resolutions. Other than including Gary with the email when I sent those out, I didn't ask for your okay on any of those, but they're.
I reviewed them all. The only problem I might address is they're usually, we do a little bit of a heading on each one that says resolution to do this. You didn't have it. I don't know.
Yeah, those are the same ones I've been using for years and just updating, but we can take a look at that. We'll take a look at that.
It just makes it easier when you're thumbing through them to tell what they're about.
While we're waiting, David, can you just go over so Jim will know next week the sequence of events at the swearing in, the change of seats and everything else? And is he on the email to receive the bills this following week? And
Email.
okay.
Typically, what we have done is usually call the meeting to order, approve the minutes, and then do the swearing in right after that. I did talk to Lori at District Court about having the judge come over to swear everybody in, and she's planning on being there. The way the statute reads on that, it just says the second Monday in January is when you take office. It doesn't list a specific time. But that's typically how we have done it, is right after the minutes, and then the new commissioner will take over for the rest of that meeting. Will also be the meeting where you need to reorganize the commission board for the year, so you'll need a chairman and vice chairman selected and have that approved. And I will have oaths for everyone to sign. I'll get those printed up ahead of time. And usually what we've done when it's a group going into office like that is we'll just have the judge swear us all in at the same time, and then we'll have those forms to sign, and she can attest them since she's the one swearing in. That's something I can also swear people in, but I'm one of them getting sworn in this time, so we needed to have her come over to do that. I will invite Janet to come over too, but her term actually doesn't start until October, because the treasurer's term runs with tax season, so it's always a little off. But I'll invite her to come over, because usually if there's a big group picture of everybody, she's one of them that got elected, so we try to get her into that too. And then probably when October rolls around, I'll just swear her in officially over there.
Gary, you got anything? David, you got anything else?
I am done.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn then. Unless you got something.
I got all kinds of stuff, but you can wait. Moving second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, when you done, question? Hey, Jim, you got time? You got some time, or do you gotta go? I just wanna ask him one thing, and then we can go in there and talk. Will,
It was posted then. I just, when I closed it, I just sent it off her, posted it, and she made it off. I forgot to say, Mark, my fault. I'll get fixed that. She had reaching out to him to see if it was.
Hey, you gotta pick all that up.
I know there wasn't.
We were grateful and another coming, it's just better to do that.
Next week. What? Well, I don't think she'll make a mistake. I should have double checked.